If you was the devil and you wanted to fracture a man's mind from the day he was born until the day he died, particularly a man, because I'm going to ask a woman next, what would you do?
If I were the devil and I wanted to fracture a man from the day he was born until the day he died, here's exactly how I'd do it. I'd make sure he's born into a system that fears his power before he even knows he has it. And from the moment he takes his first breath, I'd begin the quiet war. Not with violence, with shame. Not with chains, with conditioning. I'd program his parents before he arrives. Make sure his father is numb, unavailable, or absent. Make sure his mother is overwhelmed, unsupported, and carrying wounds from her own father. Now he enters a home where love is unstable, safety is conditional, and emotions are never fully seen. That's his blueprint. Then I'd weaponize school. I'd sit him in a chair for 6 hours a day and punish him for needing to move, explore, or question. I'd make sure his wildness is labeled disorder. I'd drug his spirit before it grows teeth. And I'd make sure no one ever tells him you're not broken, you're just awake. I'd confuse his masculinity early. Tell him real men are aggressive, competitive, emotionally shut off. Tell him kindness is weakness. Tell him silence is strength. Then I'd mock him when he becomes emotionally unavailable and call him toxic when he cracks. Now he's confused, ashamed, and disconnected from his core. I'd fracture his sexuality before he even knows what it is. Introduce porn before connection, pleasure before intimacy, control before vulnerability. Now he learns to chase validation through conquest, not love. He'll have sex without ever being touched. I'd tell him his worth is tied to performance. Grades, muscles, money, status, every achievement praised, every emotion ignored. Now he's addicted to results, terrified of failure, and ashamed of softness. But no one sees it because he looks successful. I'd isolate him. Make sure he's surrounded by people but never truly known. Teach him to joke through pain, distract through humor, and lie with confidence. He'll be the strongest in the room and still feel like a fraud. I'd keep him in silent competition with every other man. Convince him that brotherhood is weakness. That vulnerability will get him betrayed. That trusting another man will make him prey. Now he stands alone, strong, admired, and completely disconnected. I'd wound his heart and make him hide it. Let his first love break him wide open. Then tell him to man up. Never speak of it again. Now, every woman he loves after that is filtered through a wound he was never allowed to name. I'd keep him chasing something he can never reach. The perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect partner, the perfect moment where he finally feels enough, but it never arrives. Because the void wasn't created by lack of achievement, it was created by lack of remembrance. And I'd make sure he dies respected, admired, and unknown. The good man, the provider, the one who never asked for help. He'll leave behind a legacy of strength, but take his truth to the grave. That's how I'd fracture a man. Not with trauma, with slow erosion, with silence, with lies dressed as love, until he forgets what it ever felt like to be whole.
Wow. Now what about a woman?
If I were the devil and I wanted to fracture a woman from the moment she was born until the moment she died, this is exactly how I'd do it. First, I'd make her doubt her own body. From the very beginning. I'd tell her she's too much or not enough, too loud, too quiet, too big, too small. I'd disconnect her from the rhythm of her womb before she ever bleeds. Make her ashamed of her cycle. Teach her that pain is normal, that intuition is drama, that sensitivity is weakness. I'd divide her from her mother, not always through conflict, sometimes through silence. I'd make sure her mother carries unspoken trauma, passed through tone and tension, not words. So the daughter grows up decoding emotions instead of expressing them. Now she learns love means scanning, fixing, pleasing.